The people of Uganda should rise up according to Article 29 of our Constitution and reclaim their voice.
From the streets to the studio, every day, anytime. Nagwanau, the greatest.
Well, it should be known that in every dictatorship, especially here in Africa, to run against a dictator means being a terrorist, means being a traitor and everything. I mean, a priest, a Catholic priest called Father Sekabira was arrested, and General Museveni was talking about him yesterday, that the Catholic priest was arrested and detained in Communicado for more than 2 weeks for working with me. And I was not arrested. Hundreds upon hundreds of young people are in prison for their association with me and the party that I did. But I, the Secretary General, and many others are not detained. This is a crackdown to intimidate, to silence, and to completely, subdue the forces of change. Everybody that yearns for change and everybody that does not support Museveni.
You are rejected the elections. You say that the election is rigged.
Yes.
What evidence do you have?
Well, we have evidence before, we have evidence during and after the election. Before the election, besides the military being the chief campaigner of General Museveni and abusing every law, a day or two before the election, hundreds of our polling agents were picked up by the military. Some of them are still missing, others have been dropped after the election had passed, And then you have seen videos, they turned off the internet, and this time not the police, not the military, but Electoral Commission officials took part in critiquing ballot papers in favor of General Museveni. Glad enough, we have record of them, we have videos of them doing that, and we've started uploading them on the social media. But again, even with that massive critiquing, we had resoundingly defeated General Museveni. That is why the Electoral Commission chairperson, who is not independent at all, announced results that nobody knows where they come from, because they were supposed to pick them from the declaration of result forms and the district tally sheets, but nothing was provided. Our agents were there, they had different results on the DR forms, but the Electoral Commission chairperson was declaring something completely different. So we rejected, like we said to the people before, that this was going to be a protest vote. We encouraged people for more than 100 days that should the dictatorship try to subvert the voice of the people of Uganda should rise up according to Article 29 of our Constitution and reclaim their voice. That is what we encourage them to do. That is what we continue to encourage them to do.
And what does that mean? Protests?
That means non-violent, legally accepted protests.
It means what?
It means protesting, means rejecting the abuse of democracy, fighting back against any subversion of our democracy. Our Constitution, Article 29, provides that the people of Uganda can protest and demonstrate peacefully and unarmed. And that is exactly what we've encouraged them and continue to encourage them to do.
Yeah, but what exactly does that mean? Do you want people to come out to the streets to protest, or do you want people to stay home? What does that mean?
We want the people of Uganda to take charge of this and find numerous creative ways. Could be protesting on the streets. Some of us started protesting by holding high the national flag. Others can protest by staying at home. We give it back to the people of Uganda to find numerous creative ways of protesting. We are aware that the regime in Uganda responds to any kind of demonstration or protest with brute force. Like I've said, according to our unverified statistics already, we have records of up to 100 deaths already. We've not yet verified that, and that is why I make sure that I am at large and trying to be in contact to find out the details, which we shall release soon. but we encourage the people of Uganda to fight back in the most moral, constitutional and legal way possible.
And going to the Supreme Court is not an option for you?
The judicial system in Uganda is not independent at all. In the previous presidential election petitions, the Supreme Court has ordered for certain reforms. They've been completely ignored. The court in Uganda is impotent. Even when they instruct something, the military can dismiss it and nothing will happen. So we don't have hope in the judicial system of Uganda. That's why we've always encouraged the people of Uganda to be the ones to take back their voice.
The government and security forces accuse you and your supporters throughout this election of flouting electoral rules, maybe campaigning where campaigns are not supposed to be happening, and that's why you have been met with this kind of violence and tear gas and blocking rallies. That's what they're saying.
But the law as it is in Uganda permits a candidate, most importantly a presidential candidate, to campaign everywhere where there are people. And indeed, that campaign program was confirmed and ratified by the Electoral Commission of Uganda. However, I was not allowed to even drive on the main roads. I was not allowed to campaign in cities or populated areas. I was always sent to the bushes, but people came there. But also, the Electoral Commission was never in charge of this election. The military took charge of this election and did whatever kind of illegality that they did. I mean, if there was anything wrong that I did, if there's anything that was against the law, I would have been apprehended a long time ago.
There are some Ugandans who subscribe to whatever you're saying, but there's a lot of fear in the country. And they're saying, okay, well, the election is done, he has been declared, the judicial system is not correct, so let's just move on.
Moving on is resigning to slavery. We've said it many times that living under a military dictatorship of 40 years is like slavery. Ugandans don't have a right, they don't have a voice. Uganda is an extremely young country, the second youngest country in the world, governed by a ruler who is over 80 years. You know, every year, 10 trillion of taxpayers' money is stolen. Corruption is the order of the day. We lose 20 women every day giving birth. We lose more than 300 children under the age of 5 every day. The country is in a mess. And we, as a current generation, that are the parents of today, that are going to be starting this country, it is our right and duty to ensure that we take charge of our own destiny.
And then finally, you cannot go home. You cannot go home, you're still in hiding.
I would love to be in my home. I've not changed my clothes in days. I want to be home. I want to be free. I want to take care of my people. But the military and police have taken over my home. They've vandalized my gate. They are in charge of my gate. They've cut the padlocks. They've cut power at my house. They've cut off, surveillance cameras at my house. So they've more or less colonized my home. I want to go home, and I want them to leave my home. Unfortunately, there's no rule of law in Uganda. I cannot find redress with the courts. I cannot find redress with any institution of state. I just have to fight back in my own crude, non-violent way. My reason for not being home is to be able to speak to the world. If I was in my house, you would not be able to access me. Thank you.